Hey guys, you might have not noticed that I was gone for like 7 days, but I've actually haven't recorded a video in 10 days. I was just on some scheduled uploads. Anyway, I was on vacation in Toronto and I stopped by a sneak peek, bought 15 packs, and I pulled I didn't pull like anything super great, just like Lumina, Firewall Dragon, which I think is the most expensive card in the set, and then Heavy Storm Duster. And those cards are pretty good. But I wanted to talk about some other cards because I didn't really pull what I wanted to because I wanted to pull the Vendread Ritual monster, and I didn't pull a single copy, and that's pretty crazy out of 15 packs. At least I thought I'd pull like a couple, maybe like two. So if you have any of those, let me know. Anyway, though, so we can get rid of these guys because what I wanted to talk about is while I was looking through the cards that I did pull, I noticed that there were 5 standout cards to me that I thought might have potential, and a lot of people think Code of the Duelist is like a pretty bad set. I think that's sort of the general consensus on it. It's not like a ton of really standout cards, but I thought these might have potential, so I want to talk about them. The first one is Motivating Captain. So this card is just basically level 1 monster that when you normal summon it, you can special summon level 4 or lower from your grave. Its effects are negated, so like that's kind of lame. But this card's cool. It does have, I think it has the reverse attack and defense of Marauding Captain, which would make sense because it goes with the lore. But this card's neat. It's just sort of like a 1-card Link summon, or a Link 2 summon, I suppose. Because I think the problem with Link monsters right now is that almost every single time you would just rather like make an Exceed monster or make a Synchro monster. And while this card could be used for those, I think it's very clearly meant to be used for Link monsters. And that makes sense because this is the first set with Link monsters, so naturally they're going to include some cards that are good for that. The only real downside of this card is that it's pretty bad turn 1, depending on what you're playing. And it only gets its effect off a normal summon. One thing, though, that I would like to point out especially is that this isn't limited to once per turn. So if you have 2 copies and like a Seraphonite, you can get its effect twice and summon 2 monsters. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, that card's pretty neat. The next one is TRAPTRIX Mantis. I don't know if people really know what TRAPTRIX monsters do anymore. Basically, there's like Dionea, which is like a debris dragon, and then there's Mermelio, which is like obviously the best one because it searches the trap hole when you summon it. This one sort of does 2 different things. So it searches a TRAPTRIX monster when you normal summon it. That's kind of cool. It grabs mainly just Dionea, I would assume, so that if they kill this, you can summon it and make a rank 4 or Link 2 monster. But more importantly is that during either player's turn, as a quick effect, you can bounce a set spell or trap card you control to set a spell or trap card from your hand. This is good because with Dionea, the trap hole that you set when she's special summoned is banished during, I think, either the next end phase or that end phase or something. So with Mantis, you can then bounce it back to your hand and then just reset it so that it doesn't get banished, so you don't have to use it in the next turn. So that's kind of neat. The TRAPTRIX monsters in general, I don't think are terrible, and I think that Naturia Sacred Tree is like a pretty good way to play them, but there just weren't like enough monsters. So with Mantis, you actually have like another good monster that you can play 3 of as just like a Stratos, and I actually think that could be pretty deadly if you like actually play like a stun variant. So yeah, I didn't really know that card was even in this set, but it was cool when I read it. The next one is sort of left field here, I'll admit it. The Ascended of Thunder. So this guy is pretty simple, and when he was actually one of the first Code of the Duelist cards revealed. A lot of times what happens with the OCG reveals is that we get like 5 cards revealed, and then we get like 2 archetypes revealed, and then we get like the whole rest of the set revealed. And this is one of the cards that was in that very first wave, and I was excited for it. So it's a level 7 monster. It's a Thunder, 2700 attack. That's pretty good. You can special summon this card from your hand by paying 3,000 life points. And then if it's summoned this way and your opponent kills it, as long as it's by battle or card effect, you gain 5,000 life points. The important part here is that this is a free 2,700 attack monster that you can just special summon with no setup. I think I'm going to just do a Battery Man deck profile with this because I actually think it's pretty good for that. It's sort of, in that deck, just like a better Guardian of Order. So that's really neat. And this card is cool though, because it's not restricted to once per turn, so if you have multiples you can do it. Obviously if you had 3 of them you couldn't do it because you need 9,000 life points. There's really no downside of it, because if they kill it, you just gain not only life points that you paid, but also life points, 2,000 extra life points that you didn't have to begin with. And it's good because it has so much attack points. It's just like a really big threatening monster that you can summon, that if your opponent like hits it with like Trident, you just gain a life point back. And I like that a lot. And I like it in Battery Man as well because it's a thunder monster, so you can banish it for industrial strengths on field effect, and you can also make Battery Man Charger gain more attack by having this on the field. I don't know if this card's going to be like meta breaking, but as a card that not only can be helpful for like putting more damage for OTKs, but also sort of in Battery Man, if you have like this and Battery Man Charger, while it might not be the ideal play to special summon this and then tribute summon the Charger, it is a play that you can make if you don't have anything else to do. And for that reason, I like this card a lot. I don't know if this will ever see play. And it's also a free level 7 monster, so I don't know if that's like ever going to be relevant. Obviously, when Dragon Lures were big, level 7s were big. But if there's ever a deck that like can summon level 7 monsters and needs more level 7 monsters for like, I don't know, I guess with Link monsters it's a little different, but if there's a deck that like plays a lot of level 7s and wants to make some rank 7s, this card I would think would be played in it. Then the downside of this card, so the downside of this card is that it doesn't actually like advance your game state at all. It just sort of, it's just a big monster. So it's probably not like super competitive for that reason, but I like it as like a rogue pick. Okay. Anyway, the next card is Treasure Panda. So first of all, I just want to say that this card's artwork is like off the charts. I mean, this is like some, let me try to focus here. It's like some Indiana Jones fucking bullshit with like that level 1 rock guy and like Ojama Yellow. So that's pretty next level. More importantly, though, this card's great. It sort of is like the motivating captain card. So you can banish, well, I just said that, but now I'm realizing that's a little silly to say, but let me explain. So it's level 4 beast monster. You can banish up to 3 spell or traps from your graveyard face down, special summon 1 normal monster from your deck whose level equals the number of cards banished to activate this effect. So its effect itself is pretty different from motivating captain, but it's sort of the same principle where it's a 1 card link 2 monster, and I think that's great. So the main use for this that I would see is if you were playing a deck that had like a level 1 normal monster deck or perhaps a level 2 monster, and then you can just summon this after you've played like literally anything like Pot of Desires or Upstart Goblin or pretty much any card that you've played. You can just summon this to grab the normal monster from the deck. I could see it potentially being played in decks that play like Venus and Shine Balls, although I don't know so much about that. It just depends how many normal monsters you play. One thing that I've noticed, at least that I've noticed, is that a lot of the Link decks make use of normal monsters. So even though the OCG, to my knowledge, hasn't like picked this card up a lot, I think it definitely has potential. The downside is that it's really, really bad turn 1 unless you have Desires or Upstart or something like that. And you can do like some cool plays as well with like Barrage. If you open Barrage, Treasure Panda, I don't know if that's like the next level meta play right there. But it's just like cool card design. I like the motivating captain and Treasure Panda cards. I think are just like, maybe not Treasure Panda, but the motivating card are just like cards that I don't think could have been around before like Link Summoning came out, because like it was like too powerful, or like just some like general cards that give you free monsters were just too good when you could just spam your extra deck. But with Link monsters, it actually restricts you, so they can make cards like that. Anyway, though, I think that card's pretty good. It's just not very good turn 1. And also you have to play normal monsters. My last pick is probably my favorite artwork in the entire set, Stack Reviver. Look at this guy. He is so cute. He has his little eyeballs. He's holding his little data chip thing. I don't know what he's doing. This guy is pretty great. So it's a level 2 monster. It's a Cyberse, and if you watch the last profile I did with Phantom Knights, you know that I like Cyberses a lot. And then its effect is, if this card is used as a material for Link Summon, you can target one other level 4 or lower Cyberse monster from your graveyard that's used as material for that Link Summon, special summon it in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. So the downside is that it can only be once per turn, but it's basically just like a free monster. And it makes, anytime that you have Stack Reviver and then like another Cyberse monster that meets its requirements, that's a free Link 3 monster, because you just make the Link 2 and then you stack Reviver to special summon the guy from the grave, and then make the Link 3. And I think that's maybe not like overpowered, because like this doesn't have any effects besides when you're doing that. But I think it definitely puts it in a category that makes it really interesting. It sort of reminds me of like how Dandelion was used back when synchros were big, where like not only would you be able to synchro with the Dandelion, you would then get the tokens that you could synchro summon even more with. Stack Reviver, I'm not saying it's the next Dandelion, but I originally stopped this card just because the artwork was so great, and then like I read the effect and was like, oh, that's kind of neat, because like if you open like this and Link Slayer, that's an instant Link 3. Well, I guess not Link Slayer because it's not a level 4 lower monster, but it's just like I think this card could be good. It's one of those cards that just like revives things for free, and if you notice, it doesn't actually negate the effect of the monster it revives either, so that could be relevant. It's just a card that I see having a lot of potential, depending on how Konami like treats the Cybers theme, or the Cybers type, I should say. It's not really a theme, but yeah, I like this card a lot. Anyway, though, that was my 5 card analysis. That was like, so I had like these 15 packs, and there were like some other like decent cards in here that I liked. So I was like super out of focus, but these were like the main 5 that I thought were like had the most potential. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if I missed anything. I'm sure you will already without me telling you that. And anyway, I'll see you later.